And also, most importantly, not only do I see them, regardless of whether you see them and value them or not, I do. How do I leverage them? And also, how do I take personal responsibility for enhancing them? So when Liz was very upset and kind of collapsing, James was looking at what could I do better next time? What didn't I do so well this time? James was looking at the report that gave him his feedback. So self-mastery is a tool that, when taught, gives students and adults access to things like personal responsibility, internal locus of control, emotional intelligence, compassionate communication, a number of dynamics that enhance not only connection and working in teams and working with others, but also personal leadership, so that a person gets to a place where they are an engaged and empowered leader of their life instead of a constant victim of the circumstances of their life. Wow. So I'm a big advocate for the dynamics of helping young people understand their sovereignty, and that's their ability to act on their own behalf regardless of the dynamics, the muck and yuck in their lives, and how that can create kind of juicy and deliciousness despite the muck and yuck.
Isn't that great? Let's give her a big round of applause. And now she just mentioned about self-mastery, how it can affect people and how it can, shift responses from negative response to a positive response, and how it can make a drastic difference. And we have a live example sitting right in front of us. The kind of challenge that he faced, maybe somebody would not have been able to create such a massive success out of that as Lord Milan has done. And from your, you are a living example of, accomplishing the impossible. Can you share the secret with us? What propels your success? How did you make it happen?
Well, much like Dr. Valerie was saying, it's kind of the question of what about me? Where am I in this story? And a lot of times we can get caught up in moments, just like the example that she gave, and that moment can become a perpetual cycle. But when you step back and you're able to look at the story rather than just the moment, then you can really see how that plays out in the story of your life, essentially. And really, like, one of the things too that, we talk about the mental health crisis with technology, but I think it's really important to not look at technology as the villain. Technology absolutely is not the villain. And the thing that makes us all better is looking at ourselves as the main character in whatever story that we're living. Because your story and my story are not the same, but we're all able to use technology in a different way, and it really comes down to that individual choice. And for me, the thing that made the biggest difference and continues to make the biggest difference, and the reason why I founded the Day One Mindset, is because what about today? If you treat today like it matters, then it will. If you treat today like the actions that you take matter, then they will. And a lot of times I think we get caught up in like the big moments of life, like the graduation or getting married or buying a first house or car or secondary ed or starting your own business, these big moments. But what I found is that these big moments are a lot more doable, and you're a lot happier when you take care of the details. What are the details of that business? What are the details of the things that you want to do? And I let people know that, when you change the parameters of a story, then it really makes sense. Because if you don't think the details matter, then we all should be married to the same person. But that's not the case. Like, my wife is my wife, it's not somebody else's wife, because the details matter. And when you start looking at your own story as the details of your story, you absolutely have way more control than you think. And a lot of times with students and with education, they don't feel that they matter enough. Like, why do this? Okay, this mathematics matters, why? What is this gonna do for me? But if it's a part of the story that you're creating, then it does serve a purpose. You don't have to like every single thing. And like Dr. Valerie was saying, sometimes it's messy and dirty and annoying and like all these things that exist. However, those things are really built into life. So if you're waiting for things to be easy for them to be doable, then you're going to be waiting forever. But if you just look at it as, this is really an undeveloped opportunity, then I can really capitalize on whatever is happening. And when I broke my neck and was told, hey, you'll never have any movement or feeling or anything again, I decided to find my value in something else. And I recorded my episode 122, I think, of my podcast about the last 23 years since my injury. And if I was waiting to walk again and for things to be easy, or for somebody else to come along and say, hey, you're great, you can do this, then I would have been waiting still. I wouldn't have anything. And reminding ourselves that when you choose not to wait for someone else to solve your problem or to be your hero, then you can become your own. And things like self-mastery and utilizing technology in the right way, that you're utilizing it in a way that's actually serving you and your story. Being the best you is the thing that's going to serve all of us. Because if you think about the amount of people that have been alive just in the last 100 years versus the amount of people that we talk about, it's like 0.00001. And why is that? It's because those people focused on the details. Those people looked at their life as a story that they chose to create a good one. That, we talk about Einstein failing thousands of times. Apparently it didn't matter, because what matters is that he was doing something that was worthwhile. Or all the people there's a handful of people that are running the world, and that, we can complain about that, or look at it as an example. Success leaves clues. Follow the success of focusing on yourself and your own story. And while that may seem selfish, it ends up giving you a life that's self-full. Because my story is extremely full. And I'm using what I learned in the studies, in the time, and like all of my colleagues, looking at the details of life and the clues that success have left already to serve people on a massive scale. Because all I do is think big. And people are amazed about how many things that I can do, and I don't see it as amazing. I think it's something that we all have the choice to do. And when you find something that's bigger than yourself, that seems out of reach, then you end up stretching and becoming your own superhero to be that person that really catapults us all. Because it's when we pay attention to ourselves and those details that we all move forward. And I think that's the biggest thing that can serve all of us.
Amazing, right? Awesome. Now we have such amazing panelists here.